How does it feel to be elected tonight as one of our first MEPs?
It's a great privilege. I'm so grateful to all the activists who have put in so much work to make this happen. In the end, we only won the seat really by a few hundred votes. If it hadn't been for the work that so many people have done, we wouldn't have got there. So really, I feel humble for all the effort that's put in by the people who aren't going to go to Brussels, who aren't on the European payroll, all the rest. People have given up so much to get me elected. Thank you very much. I'm really humbled by the sacrifice.
What's one of the first things that's going to be on your agenda when you get into Brussels?
Well, I've already told the media, I don't know how many of them will show it or play it, that as far as I'm concerned, obviously we're there to make a point about opposing Turkey's entry into the European Union, bread and butter issues like that. But a real issue that we can actually do something on, just one person and the one or two researchers I've got there, is we've done a huge amount of work over the last few months about the way in which things such as private finance initiatives are part of an enormous political elite scam against the British public. They're ripping billions and billions and billions of pounds off the British people by privatising all our public services. A lot of the push for that comes from Brussels European directives, and we want to get into the archives there to find out really precisely where these come from, which companies have been lobbying for these things. Then we're going to look at those companies, and I'm quite sure we're going to find MPs and ex-MPs on their payroll. It's a scandal which will knock the porn films and the bath plugs and the second homes mortgages absolutely out of the water. This involves billions, and it's going to be so important to us to be in there in Europe to get in the archives to expose what's been going on.
Everybody's been giving messages tonight to Mr Brown. Have you got any message for Mr Brown tonight?
I think that actually the message is going to come from the great and good or the great and bad of the Labour Party. The sheer humiliation of being beaten by Andrew Brons and Nick Griffin in Yorkshire and the northwest of England, I think means that Gordon Brown's going to go.
What about UKIP? What do you think of Nigel Farage tonight? He got re-elected.
Yep, UKIP have obviously done very, very well. It's deeply ironic, actually, that with the media so worried that the British National Party was going to get the protest vote about the political party's sleeves, that they boosted UKIP up out of all proportion. That party was a busted flush. It's got no infrastructure, no base, virtually no activists. There's really nothing there. But the media taught them up as a block against us. So you've got the party which is actually the sleaziest of them all. In Brussels, back in Brussels in larger numbers. It's ironic. I wouldn't worry about it. Some of the UKIP MEPs who just got elected are actually good people. I vaguely know one of them. They're not bad. They are there, some of the new ones especially, to stand up for Britain and Britain's interests. They're not the same as us, but they're a damn sight better than the other parties. For all that they won't thank me for saying it, I'd rather have them there than the others. And really and truly, they're there because of us. It's really quite ironic. We've got 2 British National Party MEPs elected, and we've probably got at least 6 UKIP MEPs elected as well. That's quite a thing for a small party to do.
There was a lot of trouble outside, they said on there, that your windows got smashed, your eggs got thrown at you.
Yes, we had a lot of trouble. Some of that mob were actually wearing Labour rosettes. As I said to various people in the media, that wasn't a mob organised by the Labour Party, by people who work closely with the Labour Party, who are often funded by the Labour Party. Also, of course, the UAF, they're actually backed by David Cameron, amongst others. I challenged William Hague on air on radio earlier on this evening to condemn his party leader's association with that gang of thugs, but apparently he skipped out of the studio.
I'll not keep you long tonight, Nick. Congratulations. Have you any message for anybody else out there?
Now, again, thank you so much to all the activists who've worked so incredibly hard, primarily in the northwest, but also all around the country, obviously in Yorkshire, where we got that fantastic breakthrough as well, but also in the places where we didn't win. Our vote is up everywhere. We really are on the political map. All the activists know how that for every person who voted for us, there was a dozen more who were on the edge of voting for us, really sympathetic, really interested. In the end, this time, a lot of those people were put off by the lies of papers like The Sun and The Express, but that won't last forever. Our time's coming.
Tonight, when you got elected, a lot of people came up on the podium and they all walked off when you got elected. Can you tell us any more about that?
Yeah, I was, of course, expecting it. Tory, Liberal, Labour, UKIP. they're essentially all the same. We're the new kids on the block. We're the ones who threaten their monopoly. We're the ones who've given the British people back a choice. Before, you had certainly the three old main parties, all the same on all the core issues. There was no democratic choice. We've given it back, and that's to the British people. That's what they really hate. So they walked off as expected. Good riddance to bad rubbish. They're all of them in parties dominated by MPs who've had their snouts in the public trough, who've ripped the taxpayers of this country blind. Frankly, I don't want to share a platform with those people.
When we were tonight watching it on the TV tonight, when we were giving your speech early on before you got elected, there was that many cheers in the pub and it was just ecstatic.
Fantastic. The support out there is huge. One of the journalists said, of course, 92% of the people didn't vote for you. And I said, look, 70% of them didn't vote for anybody because they're disgusted with politicians and the political class as they've seen them picking it in recent years and what they've done to this poor country of ours. And if the majority of people who didn't vote had just gone out and voted for who they thought they'd like to see in, we would have had an absolute landslide. There's a tsunami of support for this party built up there already. As I said in my speech on the podium tonight, we've broken through the dams, the wall of lies that have held back the righteous and decent and just concern and anger of the British people for decades now. We've breached the dams, the water's pouring through them. You know what happens when a dam breaks? Only a small break, and the water will rip everything away. So this is only the beginning here. The next few months are going to see the British National Party grow and grow and grow, and by the next wave of elections, well, it's anybody's guess, but we are going to be news once again.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.